Hola, buenas chicos. We're here in Garachico, Tenerife. Now, chances are you might not have heard of Garachico, and that's a shame, because it's actually probably the prettiest town on the island. In fact, it's been voted in the top 10 cities or towns in Spain. So probably one of the only ones that's not actually on the mainland, Garachico. So it's not very far from Ico de los Vinos. Is that how you say it? So, Garachico, what does it mean first of all? Well, Garachico, so the first word Gara comes from the original Guanche language, and it means island. So it refers to a rock that's out to sea, way back behind us. It's just at a bird sanctuary now. You can't clamber on it, it's protected, but it's famous. Also, Chico, if you know your little rudimentary Spanish, then Chico means small. So, small island. Now, main square coming up, looking particularly lovely, and you can see the cliffs rising beyond it. Okay, you have to come down a road, nearly up that high, it's like 1,500 foot up, but pretty spectacular here, nestled amongst that greenery. This, by the way, on the left, just point out, we spent a lovely morning here. It was bustling earlier. This, by the way, is Christmas Eve, so it was packed. Now, if you're into our cafe scenes, you can just sit and be in a real cafe, not one of these cheap rendered versions. No, real, with real people coming and going as if you're really there, and a view of this magnificent square. Then check our channel, because we'll be uploading that very cafe scene video. Now, what does this remind you of? I don't know if you've been to South America at all, but it really feels South American. In fact, the fact that we're on Tenerife at the minute seems quite hard to believe. This is the old Hermitage of St. Francis. It's been many things to many people. I feel lots of cliches coming on today, but I'll try and avoid them. Beautiful square. There was a lovely parade here earlier. If you want to catch that, that was on our cafe scene video. Well, that restaurant ahead of us there, we haven't been in. I did poke my head in just to have a look round, and I've got to say, I'm a sucker for courtyards, and that has a stunning little courtyard area in there. You can just see through there all the greenery. We've just moved house recently, and it's given me the feeling really that I want to mimic something like this. Probably quite hard to do in the UK, we don't quite get the weather, but I can imagine, I can pretend. Looky, isn't it nice? Now, I don't know what the food is like. I'm sure you could probably just come in for a coffee. I'm sure they'd be amenable to that. That's the name of the restaurant. So, Logia. Now this, ooh la la. Why am I going to French? No idea. This was again bustling earlier. Local people out. I think they're all at home now, having a late lunch or a siesta perhaps. We'll just soak up the atmosphere. And some of the scenes for Christmas. The angel with the jetpack, hovering majestically, blowing leaves and sheep wool asunder beneath him. let's head back this way. So how long has Garachico been here? Well, funny you should ask that, you cultured people, you. So, the island was finally taken by the Europeans in 1496. It took two separate invasions because there was a local population here, the Guanche people. Now, where did they come from? Well, they are related to the Berbers in North Africa, particularly if you trace their ancestry. It's Mr. John and Muriel Berber. No, it's not, obviously. And so it's believed they were here as far back as 2000 years BC. So it took two invasions to take them over. The Europeans had two great weapons in their favour. First is horses. Now, horses were probably equivalent to tanks in the days gone past. Imagine if you've never seen a horse before, and you get these 300 pounds of muscle. I'm not talking about the people riding them. Charging towards you with swords and shields and scythes and funny hats. What are you going to do? Well, you're probably going to get mown down, aren't you? The second thing also the Europeans had, and again, this is a tale that has been told, unfortunately many places, they had disease. That's right. So lots of lovely European diseases. I'm sure the Guanche people had their own. But these were special diseases, special European diseases. And yes, so basically, if you weren't mown down by a olden day tank stroke horse, you probably got some sort of nasty disease. Now, why were these lands invaded? Yeah, as you see, the Canary Islands, why were they invaded? Why was Madeira invaded and conquered by the Europeans? Because it turns out that when traveling from Europe to America, the Americas, you can't just go straight across. Okay, the winds aren't really in your favour, but if you do something sneaky, by the way, you're counting balconies, 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 more balconies. If you do something sneaky and you tack down the coast of Africa, then you can pick up the westbound trade winds. Indeed, that's what they did. And lo and behold, if you do that though, what do you come across? You come across Madeira and you come across the Canary Islands and you go, oh, there are some simpler folk here who are living a pastoral, lovely, peaceful life. So let's just dominate them and kill them off or use some slaves and plant sugar here, which wasn't native. Yeah, that's what happened. So lots of the forests were cut down to make way for sugar. Now, of course, unfortunately, because they'd killed off most of the Guanche people, didn't have anybody to work the field. So, unfortunately, as is a common enough tale, slavery really took hold here, really thrived. Anyway, 200 years passed. Now, the thing is, call it biblical retribution or call it just coincidence or call it anything you like. Call it Bethany if you want to. But poor old Garachico suffered the bubonic plague. Oh yes, swarms of locusts. Yeah, see where I'm going with this? Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Fires and floods, but it all came to a head, as it were, rather aptly, because 200 years later, in 1706, so the Black Mountain, Montana Negro, or already the Trevejo volcano that was sitting underneath it, decided to erupt. Oh, that's a shame. They've just moved those tables, by the way, earlier. It's rather nice. People were sitting out, but you know, But the view, hold your breath. Look at that. I'm just going to show you that little park over there, by the way, where you pick your jaw up off the floor. It's very careless, by the way. We do put it in the description, by the way, if you're watching one of our videos, use both hands to hold onto your jaw, please. It's difficult, because sometimes, of course, you might be putting your fingers in your ears while I'm talking. And this, by the way, is just for the benefit of the one or two commentators who like to point out that this walk would have been lovely, apart from that bloke that talks all over it. Yes, well, imagine what it's like being in my own head. I get this all day long. So why should you escape it? That's what I say. It's a tiny little park. I'm not going to go all the way in because it's very small. But pretty nice, isn't it? Pretty perfect, in fact. Look at that. And of course, balconies, more balconies. Let's press on, shall we? So yes, oh, the volcano. Oh, that wasn't nice. So basically, this has been a really thriving city. Okay, a thriving port was here, and for hundreds of years, basically they would export sugar and wine, and all the ships that would cross the Atlantic between the Americas and Europe would stop here. So things were buzzing, money was being made, everyone was happy. Then the volcano came, it spat its fiery death for 2 full days, could be more. There's no one alive who remembers that day, so I have asked. But yes, the whole harbour was completely filled in with lava. The town was not quite obliterated, but a lot of it was. You've got the San Miguel Castle, which is one of the original fortifications. You can just about see peeking out to the right down there. That was originally built to keep away all the pirates. One, including a familiar name, perhaps, to some of you, Francis Drake. Let this car go past. I don't think they like me walking in the middle of the road, but then I don't blame them. Roads are for cars. If God had meant roads to be used by pedestrians, it would have made them look like pavements. Oh, like that one over there. Now, pretty nice weather, by the way, isn't it? It's 21 degrees today. Did I say it's Christmas Eve? It's Christmas Eve. Now, if you came here in summer, you can get up to 25 degrees. That's centigrade, by the way. You can get up to 30 degrees even. Any advance on 30 degrees? No, I think we'll stay with that. Stay with 30. I like round numbers. Oh, got the cute little dogs. Oh, look, it's that tiny little balcony I see. Shh, might be. By the way, that's the inverted commas castle. Again, there to protect against pirates, naughty pirates. That survived, by the way. One of the few buildings that did. So anyway, what happened? So, well, basically, the city never fully recovered as a port. But in time, of course, it's become a bit of a tourist attraction. The main buildings that we saw in the main square back there were built, and they're stunning. And in fact, actually, for its architecture, the town, Garachico, over here, won a gold medal for fine arts. Someone really appreciated all the work that had gone into the cobbles, the painting, and the architecture. If you want to look this place up, El Calaton, the Garachico, these are the rock pools. And you got a little restaurant here, also called El Calaton. I haven't eaten here, but who knows, we might squirrel ourselves away in here in a moment. It's got the best view. I mean, come on, look at that view. So this is one of the benefits, I suppose, if you can call it that, of the volcanic eruption, because these rock pools, these lava pools were created here. And so these give you a safe place to swim, because basically looking out there, it's not particularly safe. It's always a bit choppy, but the lava pools generally are pretty good. Now they're doing some work ahead of us, so I'm going to avert your eyes from that for a moment. Oh, hang on. See over there, way off in the distance. See a couple of people out on that promontory, that little finger of rock. Just behind that there's a beach, but to be honest, it's not worth speaking about. I'm not going to show you it. You can Google it. It's not the best, to be honest. And if you're coming this way, which I do suggest, by the way, you should come here. Oh, getting here, by the way, just to let you know. So we came from Puerto de la Cruz. If you haven't seen our videos of Puerto de la Cruz, both narrated for those highbrow amongst you, and the non-narrated, which are actually, I'm only pulling your leg. We love the non-narrated too. They're much more immersive, aren't they? But whichever floats your boat, we've got videos on both, and maybe you can see why Puerto de la Cruz is my favourite city on the island. Yeah, so we took the 363 bus, and it took us an hour and 10 minutes. It took us €2.40 to get here, that's each. And it sort of runs, I mean, today is a Sunday, and it runs, even today, about every hour. You can also drive here, it's all pretty simple. Get on the TF42 towards Hijo de los Vinos. And if you're coming as far as that, well, you've got to come here. This is only like 5 or 6 kilometers further. It's beautiful. Right, I did mention, didn't I, that this is one of the top 10 most beautiful towns in Spain. Probably one of the only ones that is not on the mainland. Okay, so you have to get here. Most people don't come this far. They stay down the south where it's hot and dry and humid. But here, it's green, it's lush. And coming down here, actually, there were moments when we forgot we weren't in our beloved Madeira. It's so much like that. Get yourself down here if you can. Now, these rock pools might be reminiscent to you. That place in Madeira, that's Porto Muniz. You might have seen a recent video about that too. Quite similar. Again, maybe a little bit choppy. A few people have been swimming today. Good on them. Let me show you up there, because I know you're aching for some balconies. You haven't seen balconies probably for about 45 seconds or so. So, because of the volcanic action here, by the way, this is great for diving. Yeah, because of the lava rolling into the sea, there's weird kind of volcanic columns under the sea, and around them is lots and lots of what we like to call marine life. And so it's quite a nice diving experience. Oh, peak of the church. Ooh. Hello. Got a marina nearby. If you follow the coast along to the right. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm not fulfilling my duties. That big rock ahead of us, that is the rock after which the town is named. You can't climb on it. There are lots of nesting birds on there. It's a sanctuary. But there it is. I've shown it to you. Don't forget it. If you're here and you fancy, what's a traditional dish? Well, if you fancy eating parrotfish, we've got parrotfish stew here, which is quite nice. You can order it with maybe a potato broth. It's quite pleasant, assuming you're not allergic to potatoes. Let me burn your eyeballs with the sun. And it just leaves me to sign off. Till the next time. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Adios.